I'm m.easton, and on today's episode of Ask Matt, we're going to be covering what the Navy SEALs can teach you about leasing apartments. As Executive Vice President of the #1 apartment marketing and lead generation service in the industry, I know firsthand how much energy and work it takes to make the phones in the leasing office ring. MultiFamily Traffic is famous for making the phones ring with 10 times more renters looking to sign a lease. But if the property manager is not at their best, many of those leads don't turn into leases. I want property managers to be at their best, and I know firsthand how difficult being a property manager is. When it comes to the best of the best, besides community managers, it's easy to land on the Navy SEALs. Not only are there very few people who are selected to even be considered, but of those, 1 in 4 successfully complete the training program each year. It's grueling work, often pushing young men and women to the brink of exertion, even close to death. I realize that working for Graystar, Cottonwood, Aimco, Alliance, or Lincoln may not have you parachuting out of a plane into battle or busting through the doors of an enemy compound anytime soon, but there's a lot that you can learn about leasing apartments from these elite warriors. In this video, I'm going to cover the Navy SEAL Guide to Extraordinary Success and Achievement. Using key advice from this elite force, I'm going to apply these principles to leasing apartments. Learn their lessons, follow their lead, and you'll find you're more likely to get leases from the leads we send you, crush your goals, and impress your regional manager and get promoted. Lesson number 1, develop mental strength. Yes, many potential residents are going to say no and lease an apartment from your competitor. And there will be times when the craziest of the crazy, the world's most unreasonable ex-residents learn that they can let their freak flag fly on Yelp and other review sites, bashing your community and staff without a single fact checker in sight. These are the times to tap in and develop your mental strength. There are 4 pillars to mental strength. They are goal setting, mental visualization, positive self-talk, and energy control. Set and achieve micro goals. Micro goals lead to macro goals, which lead to 100% occupancy and you becoming the next rising star in your portfolio. By creating micro goals and determining what are the small components that lead to 100% occupancy, you can break down your career into smaller pieces. Let's say one smaller piece is setting appointments. You can break that into even smaller pieces like answering the phone quickly, and repeat as needed until you get tiny, achievable chunks. Even on days when you don't sign a lease, you can measure and see the benefit in your achieved micro goals. Convince yourself that you can do this. How many times have you thought you couldn't do something but surprised yourself? Well, that's part of how you get through SEAL training. As you progress in your property management career, you'll be faced with new challenges that will test you. When these challenges arise, that's the time to say to yourself, I can do this. Never say to a resident or your regional, I don't know or I can't, and never ever lie to them. Tell them, I will figure it out, you can count on me. Great property managers are masters of jumping on an opportunity before learning the details, committing to it, and figuring it out later. I know this contradicts with much of what you have been told your whole life, but succeeding in this industry often involves overcommitting yourself and then strategizing to handle the unexpected. In the end, you will figure it out and accomplish what you signed up for. Control your energy. When our bodies feel overwhelmed or in danger, we release cortisol and endorphins. These chemicals cause our palms to sweat, our minds to race, our hearts to pound, and our bodily functions to malfunction and cut off valuable mental resources. In addition, when we are bored, we tend to take mental vacations. Finding your optimal energy will allow you to be on top of your game. I have found that a great way to do this is every morning write down your goals. The bigger the goals, the more energy you will have. If your goal is just to make more money every year, you're probably not going to get your energy aligned. But if your goal is to become the CEO of a REIT and change the apartment industry forever, you are going to have more energy to get through the small stuff that is thrown at you throughout the day. Be aware. Navy SEALs are known for their awareness. This is called sensory acuity. Basically, you need to be aware of how your resident or potential resident is responding to your message. This includes actively listening and observing body language. Okay, a very important lesson here. Avoid bad situations. This one is obvious, but how many times have we taken on a resident in an argument that we should have avoided? Petty arguments, gossiping about the company, and speaking negatively about your community, its residents, or your team members is a bad situation that should be avoided at all costs. Let everyone you know and everyone in your community know that this is a no negativity zone. Practice humility. This one means that you recognize you don't have all the answers. When a resident or prospect asks a question that you don't know the answer to, tell them, "Great question. I will figure it out or find somebody that knows the answer." Fail to recognize this and you're likely to flat out fail. If you are giving people misinformation just because you want to be right, you are on the wrong path. Again, don't say "I don't know." Say "I will figure it out." So important for your career in property management and real estate is to find mentors and coaches. You should always have 3 people who are paying attention to your results. Number 1, someone senior whom you would like to emulate. Number 2, a peer. This could be another property manager or regional manager who you think is better at the job than you are. And number 3, an outsider, like a coach who has a unique perspective. You'll be constantly learning, growing, and improving by keeping these 3 people active in your property management career. This is so big for me personally and for us at MultiFamily Traffic. Do the small things right. This should make obvious sense, and it extends beyond leasing apartments. There's a saying, how you do anything is a reflection of how you do everything. So look outside your guest card entries and your resident follow-ups. Are you doing the small things right in other areas of your life? Are you on time to meetings? Do you follow up with people? And this is both in your personal and professional career. Make sure you're doing the small things right. That will give you a boost and an energy in improving yourself and making sure that you execute like a professional in all aspects of your life. Be informed about evaluating others. Here we're talking about personality styles. Knowing your own personality style and being able to identify those of your prospects or residents is essential in building rapport and signing more leases. MultiFamily Traffic will send you hundreds of hot, qualified renters each month, but each person has their own personality and you will need to adjust to it. All right, this one is huge and it's probably one of the first things that you think about when you think of Navy SEALs. Suck it up. Hey, we're all faced with tasks that we don't want to do or residents that we don't want to call back. Suck it up and do it anyway. Most individuals behave in accordance with their feelings, especially when they don't want to do something. Start by picking up rather than walking by every piece of trash you see on the property. Soon it will become unconscious and you will have no idea how powerful this makes you. Sometimes be first. Think out of the box for a resident solution or how to approach a prospect. Often we get trapped into doing things the same old way. Think out of the box and be first to test an idea. It's okay, you'll live, even if it fails. All the great things we talk about when leasing apartments today were once crazy ideas that someone was the first to try. Your idea may even become the next valet waste or MultiFamily Traffic. Big one here, take on the sharks. We all have that one property in our portfolio, and I know you know who it is. That one that can never do anything wrong. The property that gets all the budgets and the resources before anyone else. We often back down and give into our feelings that we are inferior. There are many, many stories of only a handful of Navy SEALs taking on hundreds of an enemy with more firepower. Go ahead and challenge these big rock star properties. Tell your team we're going head to head with them, and we are going to become the best damn community in our portfolio. The next lesson is identify the win. WIN, or W-I-N, stands for what's important now. Often in property management, we are pulled into multiple directions and it's easy to get lost. By keeping WIN, W-I-N, or what's important now in mind, you'll make the correct decision to take the best action possible. All right. I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me, I'm talking to everybody on this lesson. Be happy. Even when you can't be happy anyway. Let's face it, no one likes to be around a grumpy person, no less a grumpy leasing agency. No matter how bad you perceive the situation at the property to be happy. If you're not, find a way to be happy. Being happy will translate into happy residents and prospects, and that will translate into change at your community, and that will translate into you reaching all of your goals. Persevere. Do not ring the bell. One-way SEAL training is a lot like the rest of the world, is that there is an easy way to quit. You can simply give up, ring a brass bell in the middle of the compound in front of all of your peers, and walk away. If your occupancy is dropping, persevere. If your prospects aren't signing leases, persevere. If your regional manager is a maniac, by all means, persevere. Many people enter the profession of property management, but only few can make it a career. In the words of Winston Churchill, success is the ability to go from failure to failure without losing your enthusiasm. If you, your property, or your portfolio needs 10 times more hot, qualified renters calling the leasing office every day, MultiFamily Traffic is the perfect solution for you. We are the most cost-effective way to get more leases. You can reach us at 888-683-5885. Our website is www.multifamilytraffic.com. My direct contact information, direct line is 303-803-7372, and my email is m.easton@multifamilytraffic.com. I hope you really liked this episode. If you want to see more on leasing apartments and apartment marketing, be sure to click the subscribe button. If you do, all your dreams will come true. For MultiFamily Traffic, I'm m.easton. Until next time, be great and lease those units.